It's about time he got back to that. Tonight, working on getting the pistons back into the engine. Alright, so difficulty is, on this engine, you're supposed to have between a 0.017 and a 0.007 gap in the rings. So, that's super thin. Issue is, the gap on the old rings is bigger than the largest feeler gauge I've got in this at 0.045 with a 0.017 being the biggest gap you want. There's massive difference. This one is what I'm aiming for, so it can be between that there. Those. See if I can get more gooder light. Alright, so it's gotta be between this and the middle one there. So I figured 0.011 is a good place to aim for. So I'm taking each of the piston rings that I did finally order. These are the first oversize, and when put into the cylinder, their gap is non-existent. They're touching. So I'm having to grind away that much metal off the end of each ring. I'm doing it incredibly slowly, making sure to keep this as square to where it is. And it's better on a bigger ring. So keeping this cut square, can't really see it, keeping that square, so slowly going at it. I have the first piston working on the second piston, just finished that ring. So what I'm doing, get that there, taking each ring, placing them into the cylinder, getting them square, measuring at the top to make sure I'm less than a smaller gap than my 0.017, and I'm pushing it all the way to as close to the bottom as possible, and then making sure I still have at least the 0.007 space. I did not take this block to get bored. That's expensive. Yeah, I know it's more expensive if I blow it up later. But I'm trying to get away with removing the ridge, honing the bores. The pistons all test tight enough with the correct size feeler gauge, sticking the piston down in with the feeler gauge. Yeah, here we go. And having, it's like a 0.002, I don't remember. Anyway, you stick the piston in with the feeler gauge, and you're supposed to have a certain amount of resistance as you pull the feeler gauge out. and they all passed. All of my rings for this piston are ready. It is time to start assembling it. I'm going to do that off camera because I can. Yeah. Gotta make sure I don't damage anything and make sure everything is all loose the way it's supposed to be. So for this ring, I want both colors, green and red, showing. It has a tendency to jump and do that. Anyway, and then you get one oil ring on the top, one oil ring on the bottom. There. Following the instructions. What? Following instructions? Holy shit. And then, yeah, I think this was it. This one shows where the top, there you go, top. And that one goes in this groove with nicely somewhat cleaned out. It's cleaned out. And then this one, make sure the top is towards the top. Anyway, let me do that and I'll be back. All the rings are installed. Take this neat little tool, got a little ratchet, you got to expand it out, fit it over your rings. Now it's got this little ratchet to crank down. But first, you look where I put my ring gaps. Make sure you go there, and you go way the heck over there. Just to make sure the rings, all the gaps don't just line right up. Once that is done, I should probably wear gloves with this because it is some thin sheet metal, and past experience has told me thin sheet metal in my hand don't play well together. Just for helping everything slide around, get this little can full of this is 5W30. Finish cinching it down. Let me find a glove because I know I'm going to cut myself. I guess that should be it. Alright, so I've adjusted it so this piston will be at the bottom of its stroke, so I can get it all the way in there without worrying about hitting the crank. And there she goes. She is on her way in. More oil.
When you get a deer, you sometimes have to get it under the chest cavity.
Gonna rotate the engine. And we're back. Got this just to the point. She's got the new bearings. And you went on this way. So yeah, hold that. Drown it in oil. Put your nuts on. Just for starters, and tighten these up to 20. That is 2 pistons. And I'll probably just do the rest because it takes time. For anybody questioning using the hammer to drive the piston in, this is directly from the manual. And that tool is very similar to the ring compressor I've got, so I've actually got the right tools. Sweet!